Yeah, I think that's right. Or it might be 4 points, but it's definitely we need at least one win. Yeah.
Yeah. But you look back at that result we had, that 4-0 victory against Hungary, and you look at the game we had yesterday. What did we do wrong? We had a kind of similar lineup. Obviously, Foden came in, but what is it that we did wrong in that game compared to that previous game? Because we run away in that last game. We kind of a bit sloppy in the first half, and then we came to light in the second half. But in this game, we kind of had more of the possession, but couldn't find the breakthrough. Obviously, we had that lucky goal by John Stones from that Foden free kick, but still couldn't break down that Hungary defence. Do you think it was the fact that Hungary, they turned up at Wembley and they had a defensive mindset in their mind that they were going to go out and be as defensive as possible, not really focusing much on attacking, more defensively minded?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, full credit to Hungary. They came and did a job and played really well. I thought. I thought they were good. In that first game, I think we weren't that great in the first half, and then the second half we just come out and just bossed it. But for me, like, it's Harry Kane's not in good form.
Yeah.
I know he scored that goal against Poland where he banged it from 30 yards and it went in. But even in that game, he wasn't that great. He's not doing it for club. But can you drop him? Because he does come up with their moments. He does score the goals. It might be crap for 89 minutes, but he might have that 10 seconds of magic where he scores and you win the game. So it's a tough one. But yeah, things just weren't clicking going forward like they were sort of in the Euros, maybe. I know we didn't score that many in the group stages in the Euros, but in the Ukraine game, everything just went our way. Germany as well. The link up between Grealish, Sterling, Kane, just seems like it's not there at the minute. But like I said it a minute ago, I don't think there's any reason to panic. I think by the time the World Cup comes along, there's plenty of time, plenty of games to get it sorted. And I don't think Southgate knows his best team yet. I know he's throwing Foden in there a lot more and Grealish. But yeah, we've just got to wait and see. And I'm sure all strikers go through blips, and I'm sure Harry Kane will be back.
You look at Timo Werner for Chelsea. I mean, he has had an awful season, but obviously he's come from a different country. But you see him performing for Germany, and I think I watched the game that they've just had, and he banged in 2 amazing goals. So I think that he is starting to find that confidence again, and I think that's what Harry Kane is going to, go through as well. And I think that all the stuff he's done for England, I think he will kind of click into gear. But do you believe, Ollie, that I think what everyone believes, the reason Harry Kane and his form are going slightly downhill is because he didn't get his summer move to Man City. Did you think that he would have got that move, or do you think it was the price tag that priced him out of that move? I mean, is Kane really worth 150 mil?
I think he is, yeah. He's a proven goal scorer. He's like, his record's ridiculous. I think he's the second quickest player to score 100 goals in the Premier League behind Alan Shearer. I think he's on nearly 150. He's going to surpass Rooney's England record as well. That'll be coming up in the next year or so. So I think he is worth 150 million. And usually when players sort of pull a bit of a strop, they most of the time they do get their own way because it's sort of seen as a bad apple within the group. But he's captain of Tottenham. Daniel Levy's obviously got his mind set that he's not leaving. So I was glad when it all sort of ended and Harry Kane said, like, look, I'm staying this year. But then I did think he'd sort of kick on. But then if you look at Tottenham as a team, since Harry Kane said that, they've sort of slipped as well. The first 3 games, they won the top of the league, 3-1 nils. And then I know Kane didn't play in the first 2 of them. He might have come on for the third one. And then ever since, they've been looking sloppy as well. So does it correlate? I'm not so sure. But yeah, I think Kane is definitely worth a lot of money. Obviously, as we go on, if he continues with this form, maybe his price will dip. Who knows?
I do feel a bit sorry for him because of the fact that he has scored all these goals and he's not won a title. I think the fact that if England would have won the Euros, that I think his mindset wouldn't have been sort of, okay, I'm not determined to join Man City. I can do another season with Tottenham as long as I can actually win a title. So I do feel a bit of sympathy for him, the fact that he's not won a trophy yet. And he's coming up to that age now. Obviously, we've got the World Cup next year. I think if we do end up winning that, I think that could sort of put Harry Kane in a better mindset, because I don't see them winning the Premier League this year. They could win, they could win in the FA Cup. They could win the Carabao Cup. I think that's kind of what he should be expecting this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like say, if we won the Euros or even the World Cup a couple of years ago, I think pressure would have been taken off his shoulders a bit more because he'd have something to show for it. But at the minute, he's just a great goal scorer with an Audi Cup to his name. Like, there's not a lot he's got to show for it in terms of like medals and silverware. He's smashing records for Tottenham. He's going to break England's record. So he's got that sort of personal achievements, but he hasn't got anything to show for it in terms of trophies. So I think he does want trophies. You look at there's far worse players than Harry Kane that have won the Premier League. So he can win a trophy. It's just, does he get the move? And by all means, Tottenham could win a FA Cup or Carling Cup. Sorry, not Carling Cup, League Cup. But is that the trophy that Harry Kane wants to be associated with, or does he want to win a Premier League, a Champions League, a World Cup, European Championship?
Because, as well, that Man City are starting to lose that interest in Kane now, because from what rumours are saying is that they're going to try and go after the Terminator Erling Haaland in January. So that kind of, how do you think that makes him feel, knowing that Man City now they're slightly losing that interest, knowing that it's going to be very difficult to get him from Tottenham? So they're going to go after someone completely younger, fresher, and who is, practically one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, but Haaland's unbelievable. He's still very young, but like you say, he's got what's Kane, 27, 28? So he's got a few years on Kane. He's smashing it at Dortmund in the Bundesliga, doing it in the Champions League. I know the Premier League's different. We've seen a lot of players come over, especially strikers like Timo Werner, come from the Bundesliga and struggle. But I'm sure Haaland would do it. But in terms of Kane, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not only City that's after him. I always think of Kane in the future being at Man United.
Yeah, I've always thought.
Yeah, I think
United.
I think that's a good fit for him. I know there's rumours of him going to Chelsea in the summer, but that was all quashed when. Nah, exactly. I don't think he'd go to a London club. But I've always seen him at United. Whether that's next season after, you never know. Or he could stay at Tottenham.
The question is, will any club pay that fee? That is the big question. So we move forward now to Qatar next year, Ollie. Who would you say would be our strongest 11 that we should field should we get to the World Cup final? Who would be our strongest 11?
Oh, God, that's a tricky one.
Me personally, I would stick with the faith. When it comes to in goal, I would stick with Pickford. What Pickford has done, especially in that Euros, he has been a standout goalkeeper. He's had a lot of criticism from his form in Everton, and including that foul that took out Virgil van Dijk. But when it comes to England, he has never put a foot wrong, I see. He's never, ever put a foot wrong in goal for England.
Yeah, no, I agree. Pickford 100%. Even if his form was dipped for Everton or he's not getting games or whatnot, if he's fit, I'd put him in. And I think Gareth Southgate will do that as well, like we've seen with Sterling and Stones that haven't been playing for City, but he's thrown them in because he trusts them. And I don't think, unless Pickford's injured, I don't think the number one spot's going to anyone else.
Yeah. And there's a lot of competition, though. There's a lot of competition. Sam Johnstone's getting up there. Aaron Ramsdale's performing exceptionally well for Arsenal right now. Dean Henderson not getting enough time at Man United. I do see a loan move away in January. But a lot of competition for that number one jersey.
Yeah, definitely. And you got Nick Pope as well. I know he's been injured.
Burnley,
But before the Euros, I think he was in line to be number one. I think he got injured just before the Euros, or he was out for a long spell. So he played a few games.
Yeah,
I think mostly friendlies. But no, in terms of tournament football, Pickford's had the World Cup. We got to the semis. Euros got to the final. He's pulled off some unbelievable saves. We let in 2 goals in the Euros. Both of them were from set pieces. One was a free kick, and one was from a free kick or a corner. So, yeah, I don't see him swapping Pickford for anyone else.
Yeah. All right, back four.
I think just tried and tested. I think the Euros back four: Kyle Walker, Maguire, Stones, and Luke Shaw. Barring any major injuries, I'd say that is probably the back four he's going to go with.
Because of course we got Trippier as well, who's he's always performed well. Kieran Trippier for us,
Yeah,
he has, and I think Gareth Southgate does trust him a lot in that right back position. So obviously you got him to back up Kyle Walker. And
yeah. That's what I like about. Sorry, Trippier. That's what I like about him. He's so versatile. He can play as a wing back. He can play right back. He can play left back. So anything happens to Shaw, anything happens to Walker. If you want to play a back three and have Walker in the back three, you can put Trippier in right back or wing back. So yeah, I think Trippier is sort of number one sub, as you would for the right and left back position.
Midfield.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets tricky. In the Euros, I'd have liked to seen a lot more of Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
I think he's class. I think he's going to be
unreal. Such a young boy.
Yeah, he's so young. Whole future ahead of him, and he's unfazed. Like playing against City in that Champions League quarter, I think it was, or knockout stage. Come on the Euros, he played in the Euros, became England's youngest player. I'd like to see a lot more of him. I know he's rested for the last few games. But then who'd you take out? I think Declan Rice has got to start sitting.
I think Mounty should as well. I think Mounty's definitely start.
Yeah, I think he'll go with Mount, Rice, and Phillips. But then I'd like to see Bellingham in there, definitely. Yeah. And then even like Foden's been playing sort of quarterback position recently, just pinging it over the top, especially against Andorra. Just getting it from the right back, spraying the ball over the top, and then Then we're going on to score. So we've got so many options. That's the problem. It's a good problem to have.
What I love about Phil Foden is that he's one of our brightest talents, and I just think you have to start him. I just don't think you should bench him, because from that very start, from the first minute, when I was in Hungary, I think he was clearly the man of the match. I think Phil Foden was 100% the man of the match in that game. I just think you can't bench Foden, but it's the question of where exactly you play him around all those other talents.
Yeah, that's it. Like at the minute, it looks like he's favouring Foden sort of in midfield, and then Grealish and Sterling either side of Kane. Now he could switch that up. He could take Grealish off, could bring Grealish into the midfield, stick Foden out there. Again, I think Sterling, he's one of his trusted players.
Yeah. And of course, you've got Rashford and Jadon Sancho as well. It's crazy the amount of talent we've got.
I know.
Do you think, honestly, Ollie, do you think that we really could stand a chance of winning this World Cup next year?
I think we can. Yeah, I think 100% we can. Whether we will or not is a different question. But standout teams are France. Showed in the Nations League how good they are, coming back twice to win both games.
I still don't think they won that game.
Huh?
I still do not think they should have won that game. It was real unfortunate for Eric Garcia, actually, that goal from Mbappe. I don't.
Yeah, the offside.
Yeah, I don't think that should have been allowed. I really think Spain were robbed in that game.
Yeah.
Problem was with France, they've got world-class players, but I just think Mbappe, he's starting to be a big diva. I think he's
big time
diva. I think he's really starting to show his true.
Yeah.
His true colours. And he's never going to have that sort of... People are not going to see him as much as the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. I don't think they'll ever see Mbappe on the same level. Obviously, he's accomplished so much in his early years, but once you start showing who you are as a real footballer, the fans, the Paris Saint-Germain fans are already turning against him, after he said he wants to go to Real Madrid. So obviously, the PSG fans are going to, have turned against him. Do you see the same for the Real Madrid fans?
What, in terms of, would they welcome him at Real Madrid? Yeah. Or, 100%. Yeah, definitely. And you don't know what's happened. Like in the media, everything gets spun in a certain way. It could have just been a conversation with someone that someone's caught onto and said, Mbappe wants to leave immediately. I think he's always said about his desire to go to Madrid. Like Ronaldo was his idol growing up. So yeah, I think any team with Mbappe in it is going to be great. And is Real Madrid a bigger team than PSG? 100%. At the minute, are they as good? Questionable. But I think it's a good fit, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Mbappe at Real Madrid, I think he's done everything apart from winning the Champions League. He's won the French League, French Cup, World Cup with France, League. Exactly, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
next few seasons probably is a good time for him to leave, if he is going to leave. Maybe give this Champions League, if like there's no better chance to win the Champions League now with PSG when you've got that team.
If they don't win the Champions League, I can say myself that PSG are a failure of a team. And Pochettino is a failure of a coach. I mean, having Donnarumma, having Hakimi, Ramos, Wijnaldum, and then that front three, Herrera, Verratti, you just can't. How can they not win the Champions League?
I know. Well, they didn't win the league last year, which is just like, it's ridiculous. So anything can happen. But yeah, if they don't win or at least get to the final of the Champions League, that'll be a massive failure, I think. Especially with the team they've got.
I'm sticking with Bayern. I think Bayern are going to do it again. I think Bayern Munich, in my opinion, as a football fan, are a proper football team.
Yeah. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with Bayern.
You know what you're getting with them because they're solid at the back. They got Lewandowski up front, who's just like guaranteed goals. Like it's mad how good he is.
Muller still on.
Yeah, Bayern. Yeah, exactly. Kimmich is unbelievable as well. So yeah, with Bayern, you always know what you're going to get. And in Europe, they turn up. Very rarely do they sort of flop on the European stage. So I think Bayern will be right up there in the Champions League. I think the English teams will. I do. I think City will be there. Chelsea will be there. Liverpool will be there. United, not so sure. I hope they do. I'm not one of them people that hates to see English teams do well in the Champions League. I always like to see English teams do well.
There's something not quite right with Man United, I think. There's something not quite right with them at the minute. I don't know whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know whether it's something within the team, but we'll have to find that out. Next, Ollie, I want to know your opinion on the Newcastle United takeover, recently taken over by Amanda Staveley and the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. What do you think about that? Obviously, Newcastle now are the richest club in the world, more than Paris Saint-Germain and their Qatari owners, more than Roman Abramovich and Chelsea, more than Man City and Sheikh Mansour. 350 billion pounds is what Prince Salman is worth. Is it fair?
Mad.
Is it fair, Ollie, that Newcastle have all this money?
Honestly, I don't think it matters if it's fair or not. It's happened. Let them crack on. Like, fair. I'm a Middlesbrough fan. Like Newcastle, I don't hate them or anything. I'm not as sad as that. But they're like our rivals. But crack on. Chelsea have done it. City have done it. It's just the way football is now. If you're going to cry about it, you're just jealous because if someone comes over with 350 billion quid and buys Middlesbrough and starts buying Mbappe and Lewandowski, I'm not going to moan about it. Like it's just the way football is.
You can imagine that now.
Yeah, so they're probably in the next 10 years. Like you saw City bought a load of crap when they first started getting money. They bought Joe, Robinho came over, didn't set the world alight. Elano was actually quite decent. That might have been just before, but it'll take Newcastle a few years to get into their stride. But I think that, like they've got the fan base, they've got the stadium. It's a really passionate club. So yeah, good luck to them. But good luck to them. I'm sure they'll be.
You think for the Geordies that they kind of do deserve it in a way because for so long they've been under this strenuous relationship with Mike Ashley for so long. And I do have a lot of gratitude towards them for getting what they want finally, because Mike Ashley has not treated that club well at all.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they deserve it. Like no one deserves anything. No one's got a God-given right to be like Leeds and Newcastle. They've got big fan bases. I think they should be challenging at top of the Premier League.
It is nice for them to have that takeover they've wanted for so long, because it's kind of been like a yo-yo. It's been up and down and up and down. Yeah,
obviously. Like it hasn't been great at Newcastle, and you've seen that like, on the pitch and off the pitch. Hasn't been great on the pitch. Underwhelming signings they've been making, sort of petering around the bottom half of the Premier League. Not great for any team. But But do they deserve it? They only deserve it because the Saudis wanted to buy it. No any other reason. They've got a good fan base, like I say, they're passionate, and good luck to them. I'm sure they haven't won a trophy in God knows how long. So
record
I'm
signing,
sure they will.
still 16 million for Michael Owen. Still their record transfer. Yeah. It's crazy. Exactly. It's absolutely crazy. Who do you see taking over St. James's Park?
Oh, I don't know. A bit disrespectful to Steve Bruce, to be honest. Like, he's still in the job, isn't he?
He is still in the job. He still is in the job, but obviously all the signs are looking for him going out the exit door. I mean, Amanda Staveley and the Saudis have apparently already come to the agreement that he will be out by the Super Sunday game against Tottenham.
Really?
I didn't know that. There's rumours that he will be out by then. But if he does face the chop, who do you see taking over and taking that road? There's rumours that Brendan Rodgers is taking over, but from what he's developed at Leicester, I don't really see him going there.
No, I think Brendan Rodgers is on something at Leicester. I know they won the FA Cup, but I don't know. I think he'd be a good fit at Newcastle. Actually, I've seen the rumours of Lampard as well.
Yeah, Lampard.
I put that on my own social channels the other day, and I had loads of comments. People saying, "No, we do not want Lampard."
Antonio Conte was another name.
Conte. Like, the thing with Conte, like, people were saying about him going to who was it? Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah, Spurs. But if Conte's got money, that's what he does. He comes in, he spends a load of money, and he wins you trophies. He might be off at the end of the season, or season after, but he'll leave with the Premier League and an FA Cup. Like, he's really, really good, but he needs his own he needs everything around him to be what he wants. So yeah, like that. What a coup that would be for Newcastle if they got Conte through the door.
See that animated self on the touchline. Yeah. Can't get more animated.
Yeah, but they'd love it. Yeah, they absolutely love that.
As a Chelsea fan, I'll be a bit jealous because he did bring a lot of success to Chelsea. But if the Toon want him, the Toon can have him. And finally, Ollie, coming up is the return of the Ballon d'Or. We've just had the list of the nominations that have come out. Names like Foden, Jorginho, Lewandowski, Messi, etc. are in that list. Who would you say would be your top three and ended up winning that Ballon d'Or?
Oh God, that's a tricky one. I mean, everyone's giving it the Jorginho shouts, and he's been a good player. He has. He's had a good year. He won the Champions League, won the Euros. But he's not a. He's a good player, but he's no
he's no Messi, is he?
No, he's good at what he does. He gets the ball, he gives it a lot of sideways passing, a lot of backwards passing. He was good for Italy, but yeah, I don't think it should go to Jorginho, is what I'm trying to say. He might be in the top three, and he is a good player. But I think he's very overrated. And I think because he's won the trophies this year, I think everyone's sort of jumping on the Jorginho bandwagon. I think Lewandowski's still banging him in. He should have won it last year. He got
given that other award, didn't he? He got given that FIFA. The
Pro thing,
the Ballon d'Or. Yeah.
So I think he'll be up there, 100%. Ronaldo and Messi.
Messi winning the Copa America for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think he had too bad a season at Barca last year anyway.
Actually, what he's working around, what he was working around, and you look at Barcelona now and you think Messi, I think I made the right decision because one of your ex-players is now up front for Barca, isn't he? Martin Braithwaite.
Oh, mate, yeah. Less said about him, the better. He was all right at Middlesbrough. He was all right, but I can't believe he's playing at Barca.
Yeah.
Madness.
It just shows the kind of dire financial problems that are happening in Barcelona at the minute. And now they're talking about wanting to sign Sterling in January. How on earth can they do that?
I don't know. God knows. They might have to get rid of a few more players. It just seems to be chaos at Barca at the minute. I don't think anyone's happy, are they?